So Ras Al Khaimah is on the cusp of a tourism revolution. The Wynn Al Marjan Island is going to be finished by spring 2027. Now that's going to bring luxury accommodation, world-class entertainment, and the Emirates' first licensed gaming destination. The figures here for tourism are already pretty good. They've had a record-breaking year, 1.35 million visitors in 2025. But what does the future growth look like? Well, that is why we've come to Ras Al Khaimah, and I'm delighted to say we're doing an interview with the CEO of the Ras Al Khaimah Tourism Development Authority, Phillipa Harrison. Phillipa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I know that you are just 3 to 4 months into your tenure as CEO here. Very, very exciting time for you. Can we look ahead to how you will gauge the success of your first year? A bit unfair to ask you this early on, but I'm sure you've got aims and targets.
Sure. Well, listen, as you said, I've just joined Ras Al Khaimah. I'm just over 3 months in. And the reason that I joined is because it is so exciting what is happening here. You know, we have an incredible development pipeline. You can see some of it in the background at the moment. And over the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to double the amount of hotel rooms that we have in the Emirate. And our ambition is to triple the visitation. So I've inherited an incredibly ambitious roadmap, one that's in train and rolling out. And so my job is really to look at how we then develop that. The tripling of numbers is that's just a number, but what do we want that to look like? So I'm really having a look at, how do we position Ras Al Khaimah as the destination that we want it to be into the future? And how do we attract the sort of visitors that we want to attract to enjoy this incredible, beautiful, pristine place that we're in? And how do we do that in a way that is sympathetic to the local culture and the people who live here, and also the environment, and preserve what we have, really, that we enjoy every single day?
You've got a slightly glossy sister just down the road. Dubai, of course, one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. How do you compete in what is already a very busy market?
Yeah, look, I'm used to competing in a very competitive global market, and I actually think that it is so fantastic to have Dubai down the road. They have done so much heavy lifting for this region. They've really put it on the map. So very grateful for that. They also have one of the busiest airports in the world, so, which is only 45 minutes down the road. So we work very nicely together. But you're right. What we have to do is give people a reason to come to Ras Al Khaimah. And for me, that's really about who are we? What are we going to offer a tourist or a visitor when they come here? And for me, it is about luxury, but it's about a different sort of luxury. So it's about a luxury that is about slowing down, about reconnecting with yourself, with nature, with others, and really making sure that positioning is incredibly clear to anyone looking at, choosing a holiday. And a lot of people are going to come to both of us.
Of course, absolutely. And I mean, there is so much development going along in Ras Al Khaimah. There is this sense that there is going to be, there's a lot on offer now, but there's going to be a whole lot more. Out of all the projects going on, which is the one that gets you most excited?
Look, there is so much going on, as you said. There's one that is just, as you said, it's a game changer for us, and that is Wynn Al Marjan Island. Just there, topped out in December. And, that is going to be a game changer for this emirate. It's a flagship project, not just for Ras Al Khaimah, but for the UAE. It's the largest private tourism investment ever at $5.1 billion. So it is a significant project in and of itself. So that is very, very exciting. And the reason it's exciting is because the eyes of the world are going to be on us as a destination at that time. And so it's really incumbent on us to tell the wider story of the emirate when we have that moment in time, because it's a very exciting project, but it's not the sum total of what Ras Al Khaimah is. And so, that is what we're working on.
The Wynn is going to bring an extra twist to the tourism sector. Can you give us a bit of a sense of what's actually going to be on offer there?
It's an incredible integrated resort. So it's a large resort. There's over 1,500 rooms, but there's also going to be 22 different incredible restaurants. So they've just recently announced Michelin-starred Alain Ducasse coming here, Delilah, which is a signature restaurant in their Las Vegas property, is coming here, and there's a whole range of other restaurants. So the F&B scene there is going to be unbelievable. There's a theatre that they have incredible plans for. There's beach club. They've got a whole range. There's a marina, a whole range of activities. So there's going to be a lot going on at Wynn Al Marjan.
It is very exciting to see what's going to happen at Wynn. And obviously, they are going to have that very first gaming license for the UAE.
Yes.
Are you expecting that offering to bring a lot more tourists into the Emirate? Do you have any sense of how that might impact tourist numbers?
Overall, the Wynn is looking at attracting a large number of visitation every day. So that's going to be people who are staying in the Emirate itself. But there's also going to be a lot of day traffic coming up from Dubai and Abu Dhabi as well. So we're gearing up from that. So we are going to be looking, and this is not just a Wynn proposition, but as we evolve as an Emirate, currently 50% of our keys are 5-star and above. It's going to be 80% by 2030. So we are looking at the sorts of people who come to the Emirate and our target markets. And so we're going to be, having a good look at where we're sourcing our visitation from.
Yeah, what markets are you actually targeting at the moment?
So we have a broad brush of markets that we work in, but there's a couple that we're really focusing on as must-win markets. And of course, domestic, which is 50% of our market. And we are going to continue to focus and grow on the domestic market because that's a real bread and butter, not bread and butter, but it's a very important market for us. And we have a new story to tell in the domestic market. So you'll see a lot of focus on that. Further afield, Saudi is going to be a big market for us. We're going to have a lot more product and hotels that really appeal to the Saudi traveller. So that's going to be a big market for us into the future. India and China are markets with such huge growth potential. And we've been starting to do more and more work in those markets. So you'll see more visitation from there. And then, of course, we turn to our European neighbours, UK, Germany, Russia, all the CIS markets are going to continue to be incredibly important markets for us.
Well, as you look at the skyline, you can see all the development that is going on. But you've mentioned how important the pristine environment is for Ras Al Khaimah. And obviously, there's a need to preserve that in order to keep it as one of the attractions. How do you balance development and environmental concerns?
It's a great question. And it's one that we have because we're master planning the whole community, we can actually stop and think about that and develop very thoughtfully. And that's what we've done. So even though we are doubling our keys, we're still going to be our footprint on the environment is still going to be relatively small. So, we're not going to be a really large destination. But as we develop, we're thinking about our green spaces, how we conserve water, what the livability of the Emirate is like. And all of that is being very considered as we go through and master plan all of our communities. And for the existing product, we actually have been working with an organisation called EarthCheck over the last 3 years, and we have achieved silver status with them. And what that means is that we have 3 years of very strong data that shows that, we have conserved our water. We've saved 78% of our wastewater. We have really increased our recycling. So we're all, as an industry here, working on making sure that footprint that we have here is as light as possible.
I'm going to ask my crystal ball question. A little unfair for someone who's only been in the job for 3 months, but if you had to look ahead to, I don't know, let's say 2030, so that's like 4 years now. Goodness me, time passes. Where would you like Ras Al Khaimah to be? How would you like Ras Al Khaimah to be perceived in the wider tourism market?
So from a business point of view, I'd love to see this as an incredible place to invest because, it is a great economic opportunity for investors. But from a consumer point of view, I'd love us to be famous for being a luxury destination that is luxury in terms of what you want to make it. So reconnecting with nature, reconnecting with yourself, reconnecting with your family. And for me, that's what I would love Ras Al Khaimah to be famous for.
Phillipa Harrison, Thank you very much
Thank you,
indeed for
Georgia.
your time.
Thank
really
you.
lovely to finally meet you. Thank you.
Thank you.